It's Alan Ulandi. It's got to be more careful.
Yo, 8121 on one. I'm Dolo. I'm by myself. Boosie's busy. This is like a little side thing I do to keep the mic hot. You know what I'm saying? I come in here and I push record and I just go. And usually I'm just talking about exactly what's on my mind. Let's get something going here. Usually I talk about exactly on my mind, and today I wanted to talk about dimensions.
Please tell me something I don't know.
And what exactly do they mean to me? Dimension. When you hear this, it's not super science fiction. It's not the Avengers. It's not string theory. It's not any of that. It's a concept that I sort of stole, borrowed, and remixed so that I can make sense of my life.
Tell me!
But before we get into that, let's do this.
I question why this man do what they do, searching through clues. What picture you drew, I'm reading the room. How you bounce back from the dark in the time that you lose. I'll be running in place so we gonna make a move. And as the time goes, I'm looking to see will you improve. And what's your real purpose for this thing that you claim you do? Is it love, or you just want attention from a couple of dudes? Or maybe love from women, long as they get it from you. Would your knowledge expand past what you already knew? Would you stretch past your limits, live a life that's renewed? Or you point your fingers to the ones that's the closest to you? And how you go front on me, I know your moves. You not that smooth, and this the groove. Too much to prove. I slide like school does. I see what you does. You such a loser. You're speaking too much. I keep my cool.
8121 on one. Thank you, Thanos. Thank you, AKA Doral Southpaw, for making that little opening song for us. That joint. It works. Now, what is dimensional talk? Let me stop this real quick. What is dimensional talk? Years and years ago, I think I might have been in the Navy, and I was trying to understand, like, why do people move, or is why do people walk this way? Why do they talk this way? Why do they view life this way? And I'm reading all this stuff. Then I came to, is there a such thing as free will? Can we actually do what we want to do, when we want to do it, and how we want to do it? I'm not here to answer that question. Maybe, maybe not. There are many people out here that will say yes. There are many people out here that will say no. Okay, I'm not getting into that. I'm just talking about a concept that I had, or I use to make sense of everything. All right, let's go. There are 4 dimensions. There's the first dimension, there's a second dimension, there's a third dimension, and there's a fourth dimension. But before I can actually explain the way I view it, I have to introduce 2 words so we can have an understanding. When I use them, everything will make sense.
Tell me!
The first word is time. What is time? Simplified, time is a moment in which, like, an occurrence happened, or a situation happened, or a person does something. It's just a moment. Measured by a clock, of course. Time, a moment. The second word is space. Space is where you are, where the occurrence happened, where this movement happens, right? That would be space. I've read that the most accurate depictions of where you are, not depictions, but the most accurate explanations of where would be like latitude, longitude. You know, I was once told that 2 people can't occupy the same space at the same time. Not time like we talked about before, but meaning at the same time, meaning I can't stand at X, Y, latitude, longitude in the same exact position as you. We all occupy our own unique space. With that being said, time is a moment and space is where. Got it?
Tell me something I don't know.
The first dimension. The first dimension is where you are in time and space, which is why we had to define those words. Where you are in time and space. That is the first dimension. The governing things that keep you in that time and space would be what's going on. Or I'm standing here because it's raining over there. Or I'm tired, so I'm sitting here. But that is the first dimension. The second dimension. The second dimension is basically thought. It's all inside. You're sitting there and you're thinking. You are engaged in the first and second dimension. Well, for an example, let's say I get a phone call and someone says to me, "Hey man, you want to go to the movies?" Sure, let's go to the movies. I start engaging in the second dimension. What I gotta do? I gotta get up. I gotta take a shower. I gotta get dressed. Then I gotta get my keys, and then I gotta jump in the car, and then I gotta go to the movie theaters. And on the way to the movie theaters, I'm gonna take this street to that street, and hopefully there'll be parking over here. Then I'll park there. Blah blah blah. I go in, meet the person. We watch the movie. That's the second dimension. Thought. Didn't happen yet. Just thought. Now, third dimension. Third dimension is when you're physically putting that thing in effect. Meaning you as a person, you're moving through time and space. You're not sitting still anymore. And you're not just thinking about what you have to do. Now you're executing. That is the third dimension. Now, here's a tricky one. Fourth dimension. In the fourth dimension, which I like to call X, or X is also for unknown. What can happen in the fourth dimension can change your life. Because what you don't know is simultaneously at, somewhere else, someone is going through their dimensions. And you have no idea that when you park the car, you're going to have an accident. You're going to bump into somebody. You didn't know that such and such is going to be standing there that you haven't seen in 10 years. And you start to talk. And you lose track of time. Now you're late. The fourth dimension is where men are made and women are built. Right? The fourth dimension is the unknown. It's a thing that you can't foresee. You don't have the range. You don't have the scope to see. I'm going to go to the movies, and when I get there, such and such is going to be standing there. You can't control them. They're on their own dimensional walk. You can't control that. So the reason I said the fourth dimension is one of the most important ones, and it's the unknown, because life is defined by how you handle the fourth dimension. Is it going to make you procrastinate? Is it going to make you upset? Something that happens in the fourth dimension, will it break you? Will it make you quit? I don't know. But everything comes down to how you handle the fourth dimension. A lot of times in my life, I can't speak for everybody. A lot of times I can sit, I can think it, and I can start walking through it, and I get to the fourth dimension and I get deterred. I might meet somebody in that fourth dimension that's better. I might feel uncomfortable. I go somewhere and then be there where I'm at, in that time and space that I've been transported to. I'm just not that guy. The atmosphere is wrong. So what do? In the past, I give up. And I go on to something else. I think in the fourth dimension is where we get it. We make it happen. And a lot of us have not done what we want to do. A lot of us have not been where we wanted to go, and a lot of us have not seen what we wanted to see because of the fourth dimension, X, the unknown. Listen, I'm not going to talk your head off about it. It was something that I needed to put out there, something that I use. So most of the time when I'm in the second dimension and I'm sitting there thinking about what is it I need to do, I try to compensate for the unknown factors that could happen in the fourth dimension. And when I do that, nothing is as unexpected, and I'm all right. 8121 on 1. This is Al. We missing the Lundies. I'll holla.
It's Al and Yolandi. It's got to be more careful.